Everything I spit rare, we sounded that great. Area podcast, they talk about hip-hop all the way in the UK, so they gon' get props.
Okay, Sean's just smiling and looking at us. I don't know what's going on.
I know what he's doing.
Over to you. He introduces it and he's just sitting there smiling like, yeah, I'm happy to be
He's
here.
like, not today.
Yeah.
No,
Not today.
I'm not gonna do no board stitch-ups.
That isn't even why I'm keeping quiet, but
Okay,
Fuck it, I'm not gonna do it then. Fuck it, I'm gonna freestyle.
Oh shit! Okay,
Welcome everyone.
Yeah.
Episode today, we're talking about what happened to ASAP Rocky. Yes, ASAP Rocky. As we all know, he's more than just Rihanna's baby father. He started this massive movement, ASAP Mob, and we all want to know what happened to that pretty boy Flacco. Sam, you want to take it away? You was a massive ASAP fan.
I introduced it, just threw it over to me. Do you know what? I'll be honest. ASAP, is a weird one because if we look back, let's be honest, 14 years ago, 15 years ago, that's when I started listening to ASAP. Is the Tumblr era. So I'm on Tumblr. Everyone's page has got music on it. And I went on someone's page and I heard this ethereal music, just this weird kind of, I don't know, like a glockenspiel sound and this deep voice. Obviously, that wasn't his voice. This was in the chopped and screwed era. But I'm hearing this music. I think, what the fuck is this? This is fantastic. So then I messaged the person, said, what's that music on your page? Let me know. I want to download it on Dat Piff. They messaged me back. They said, oh, it's ASAP Rocky. And it's just this album artwork, which, like, if I showed you, you'd know straight away. But it was like purple, and it was ASAP Rocky's face, and it was very, very. I don't know how to put it. It looked like a moment, but it wasn't. Like, he sat in front. Let me share it on the screen. Obviously, again, we're on YouTube, but we're not always on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you ain't gonna see this, but you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. It was this. With the American flag and the kind of French inhale, very, very Tumblr era type stuff. But yeah, that was my introduction to ASAP Rocky. I actually heard his chopped and screwed stuff before I heard the actual whatever this was called. Was it Purple Swag? I don't remember what it was called.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Sam. I think you was the one that introduced me to ASAP. You know.
I'm the one that introduces everyone to everything, because back then everyone was hopping in the car. Let's be honest, everyone was hopping in the car, and I was just playing whatever I wanted to play.
I ain't gonna lie, that is true. That is true. That is true. You definitely put us on. Like, it was in the whip during that era of college and university. Definitely, you had the bangers for sure. And
I didn't even know I had the bangers. I just had music. You know what I mean? But you look, you know what I mean? People come up now. But if I remember correctly. That would have been like 2011. That would have been the end of 2011 was where I'm playing ASAP and not really knowing it's ASAP. I just thought it was just a chopped and screwed thing. Didn't know it was ASAP Rocky. What about everyone else? Apart from Neil, who said that it was me who was playing ASAP around him.
So mine's the same story as Neil. Like, you gave me Peso and a couple other tracks. I was just playing them out.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like late 2011 was when the mixtape dropped, and I don't remember a particular song or anything like that. I feel like I remember people talking about it in sixth form, like in the thingy room and that, where we just all used to chill and everything. And then I remember like the odd song playing at parties, and people, including myself, were dressing a little like the ASAP guys with the snapbacks and the flannel shirts and the skinny jeans and all that shit like that. But I didn't put two and two together until years later. I was like, oh shit, he was really, they were really having an influence in more ways than one. But yeah, that was my intro, man, was all that stuff. And then, yeah, I don't think, it wasn't a particular song. I think I just downloaded the mixtape and went from there.
Okay. And Theo, what about you?
Oh no, Sean put me on ASAP. It was the mixtape, and then I started playing that, and then it reminds me specifically of when I went to uni. And I think songs like "What's Up" and is it Bass? No, what's about those songs stood out massively for me, and I was like just playing them in rotation whilst I was there, and it's iconic. Actually, it reminds me of like that first year of when I went to uni and was partying and listened to that, and then after Sean had put me on, I put ASAP onto my housemates and started. Yeah, was just playing at the parties, pre-drinks and stuff like that, and that's how I got into him really.
Yeah, it was a weird time as well because we had two types of music that were really popping off at that time. It was like the hype kind of, rap music, and then this chill stoner vibe because like Wiz Khalifa's popping off around then, ASAP's popping off around then, and really ASAP was that chill, like you could play it at the pre-drinks and it was a good enough vibe where it was keeping the energy up, but it wasn't too much like, you know what I mean? Like it was a nice background music to play.
And you know what's cool about it as well? I feel like the whole aesthetic they had and the crew about them as well. Like coming from New York, they didn't really have the strongest of like New York kind of typical accent and style. They're very different. I feel like they were like a new gen of like New York group male rappers, if that makes sense.
Before that, it's what, Jay-Z who's really running around for New York. Like that was all we had.
It was like your diplomats. You had the who else you had? You had D Block. You had G Unit.
Rockefeller,
Murder Inc., Rockefeller.
We're still in the gangster rap era,
Yep.
Definitely.
Well, I feel like there was a bit of a lull in terms of New York though, because if you feel like all those crews we mentioned and how big the music was coming from that area, sort of up until the mid 2000s, then there was a bit of a dip, right, where artists like Kanye and Wayne really take over.
Yeah, it was just anywhere in America. It was like Middle America is kind of just on the map. South,
and the South, the South's like 100%. Popping off. So then suddenly you get because Rocky was a bit was very controversial at first, and even I was new to all this. I'm probably about 1 year old in my hip hop journey at this point, so I'm discovering a lot of things and everything like that. But even I was like, this does not sound like New York. This is not new. This is like it sounded very well. It sounded like Houston. Is it like what he was inspired by? But and a lot of people didn't like that. I think New York was still in that phase of being like, nah, it has to sound a certain way. But it needed. I feel like it was a good thing for New York because it was refreshing. But how do you all feel about that?
I mean, we're nowhere attached to America.
I was going to say we don't have that. Yeah.
So for me, I was just like, this is cool. Like, there's stuff coming out of America. I didn't even really back then. I wasn't really caring about who was from New York and whatever, especially in this new era, because everything was coming to me via like Dat Piff, or maybe Kieran was sending it to me on MSN way back when, or whatever else. So I didn't really feel like, oh, this isn't New York music. I was just like, this is good music. I like it. I hope this guy makes more music, because back then, people used to make a mixtape and then disappear, and you'd have no way to find them again. Do you know what I mean?
With ASAP, though, you couldn't even tell like sonically where he was from. Like Sam said, I didn't even know what it was. I think I did think it was Southern hip hop, to be honest, because of how he was deepening his voice and all of that.
Yeah,
Clams Casino that feel though. No, I was saying it gives you that feel, but then if I'm being personally honest, back then, probably because we're all UK based, we're not really caring that much. We haven't got an affiliation for a certain type of like side of America. So when I was hearing ASAP, I'm just thinking, oh, this is just cool music to vibe to, and this is what I'm checking out. So when you were speaking about the controversies, I wasn't even like checking out and thinking, oh yeah, it doesn't sound New York. I was just like, he makes good music, that's it. But I can understand that if you're actually from New York, you're thinking, well, no, New York has a specific type of sound. What's this? Why are you sounding like someone from the South when we've got our own style? Especially when they say this is the Mecca of hip hop, they're probably thinking, what's he doing sending it this way?
Yeah, because it wasn't boom bap. I'll give you that. It definitely wasn't boom bap. It was something different. It was a new sound that I hadn't heard from anyone else really. It was like, obviously we had like Rick Ross for that luxury rap, but it was like, now obviously street fashion's massive, but it was the start of luxury street rap, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
I don't know. What do you mean?
Nah, man. I think of Clips. I think of
Bad Boy did that as well.
But that's different. That's coke rap. Well, that's coke rap. But when we're trying to get into the deeper kind of, different areas of rap, I feel like when I say luxury street rap, if you look at what ASAP does now with all the kind of luxury brands he works with, but he's still a street guy, does that kind of make it a little bit clearer?
No, I don't know. I feel like we've had people that do it in the past. I get where you're going, but I feel like it's been done. Like
Crystal.
I feel like B.I.G's been like known for that. Kanye. I feel like all those guys have kind of.
Kanye's not a street rapper though. Kanye is different.
Push then. I think Pusha's done that plenty of times. Yeah, I think a few guys have been pushing that kind of, because hip hop has always been looked to be pushing fashion, hasn't they? You know what I'm saying? From early on. So I think that kind of, because like you said, it comes from gangster, and the gangsters want to dress nice and so forth and push all these fashion brands and want to be the top guys. So I think it kind of easily kind of translated into hip hop as well. But I think I get what you're saying. I think he definitely takes element of that, but he makes it his own in their own way.
And you got to remember as well, back then, this is a weird one, but it's a true observation. No one really had long hair, so him coming out with these braids was making everyone a bit kind of like, what's that all about? You know what I mean? I'm not saying people didn't have braids back then, but we were in the the low fade. That was what was going on. He was definitely. He was half, always talking about his hair and his braids all the time. You know what I mean? That was most of what he would talk about.
I think more than anything though, it was the Sonics that stood out. Because like I say, I mean, this is what I used to love about mixtapes, is that they really felt like an introduction to an artist. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they were telling you who they are, where they're from, this and that. Which is why I was like, he's talking about Harlem, but this don't sound like all this hip hop, this New York hip hop that I've been listening to in recent times. Up at that point, but also, I just think. So from, like, I guess what I'm saying, as a rapper and from a lyrical perspective, there wasn't anything particularly new there. But the beats it was largely Clams Casino, wasn't it? And there was a guy in the ASAP mob, I can't remember his name. I have to look it up. But Clams Casino especially was crafting some new sounds, I feel like. And it was all part of that. What do they call it? Was it the SoundCloud era or the cloud rap era and stuff like that?
Yeah,
a few other artists like that.
Right. Yeah. He was definitely at the forefront of the SoundCloud rapper era. Like, obviously, now you can be a SoundCloud rapper, but back then there was, SoundCloud was new. Really, it felt like it was new.
But that kind of hazy psychedelic.
That's the key though, because like New York rap was just always associated with boom bap. Even if you try and think of what's a New York rap beat right now, it is boom bap.
Or like even but the bling era as well though, like late 90s to mid 2000s.
No, that is true. Yeah.
You think we had like 50 and Ja Rule and Fat Joe? Do you know what I mean? Massive singles, and then like I said, there was that lull for a few years. So there was, but regardless of whether it's boom bap or that, there was still like this distinctive New York style and sound and all that. And then suddenly you get this. But yeah, like I said, I think Clams Casino had a massive part in ASAP sound and it taking off and whatnot.
And the thing is though, ASAP came with a weird kind of energy around it, in that there was so many of them. It was ASAP this, ASAP that, ASAP so and so, this person, that person. There was it wasn't like normal where you normally get one rapper and then he joins an already established group. This was a whole new group coming in at once. At the same time we had Odd Future kind of kicking off, but they're completely different, completely separate coast. And ASAP Mob, I would say, as much as A$AP Rocky broke through, he did what 50 did, and he brought the whole gang with him at the same time. Like, I even feel like once A$AP was on, a lot of other people around him were on as well. Like, we knew a lot of the wider A$AP mob.
That was A$AP Yams though, isn't it, that started it all, right? That was the kind of mastermind behind it. Yeah, rest in peace. Apparently he found Rocky and a few of them like around 07 times, and was, like you mentioned Tumblr earlier on. I think he was. I read that he was like involved with Dipset way back, and then left that whole thing, whatever he was doing, and then started up this sort of mini empire, and then was the mastermind behind the marketing and really propelling them. And obviously from early he noticed that Rocky was the star in the making. So
I'll be honest, I feel like Ferg was always my guy, and he kind of proved me right in a couple years after where we're talking about now, like 2012, 2013. That's when Ferg really started taking off, where he had songs like Work and all that kind of stuff. But it was like I found A$AP Rocky, and then I found like 10 other artists to listen to at the same time who weren't as good, but they were still, I would say pretty listenable.
What was that feature on the mixtape? Was it Kissing Pink? That was Ferg, right?
No clue.
No,
yeah.
No one.
Yeah, see, Kissing Pink. I can't. No, it's a good point. I can't remember who that actually was. To be fair, it's a good single though. Another single.
I'm pretty sure that Ferg was on the mixtape.
Yeah, Kissing Pink had Ferg on it. Yeah.
I don't remember.
I
remember
like
thinking
Ferg,
this guy sounds different. Yeah, but
yeah.
it wasn't till Work and Shabba Ranks and all that stuff that was it Shabba?
Yeah, Shabba.
Yeah. Them big singles. Shit.
You know what we forgot to mention as well was the influence of org on all of this as well. The whole like visual route that they were doing with the videos, and I think Yams was one of the big curators of that.
Yeah. I mean, he was behind it all, really, apparently. But what did you say actually? What word did you say? I missed it.
Org, AWGE. It's not really a real word, is it? But org.
Okay.
It's like, what is that? Nobody knew for a long time. They kept this mystique about it, and then eventually it started becoming more and more clear. This is what their visual output name is, and then you started to see like produced by org or directed by org, this kind of thing, and it was that certain video style that, especially on ASAP's last album, we were getting like crazy music videos for.
Yeah. Still to this day as well, I'd say. But the mad thing, because I didn't know this at the time, because like I say, my intro was literally the mixtape. But apparently, off of 2 songs, Rocky got signed to like a $3 million deal, which is crazy.
But this is the time for that, isn't it? This is the time where like you could get signed off one song and labels were throwing
But even
crazy
that,
bread at
though,
you.
that figures that for those times. Apparently, well, I don't know for certain. We'd have to look it all up. But there were people saying that like it was the biggest deal for a New York artist since 50. I don't know what his deal was when he got properly signed.
It was
Apparently,
split
it was
though,
massive.
from what I remember. It was like 1.3 went to him, and then 1.7 went to building ASAP.
They're never good for the artist, though, are they?
I'm saying when I say split, I'm saying 1.7 was going towards building the rest of the mob, and then 1.3 was going to him for the album. Like it was split like that. But yeah, I do remember people saying, like, "Oh, he's got a $3 million deal." I'm like, okay, what's he going to do with it? And obviously, we're going to dig into what he did with it, but I don't feel like he did enough with it.
What's normal for an artist to get though?
No,
I think he did.
Yeah.
I think they made their own genre. They kind of set something else up. They set a new page or a new kind of direction in the scene, especially for New York, but as hip hop as a whole. And I think because they weren't typical New York rappers, I feel like they kind of allow for people to become more individuals and not be typecasted to where they're from. And I think that kind of evolved hip hop. Like you don't have to sound like where you're from, and you can still be respected and make great music. I feel like a lot of people fell into that trap. I've got to follow this formula and recipe, and I think them going against the grain and being successful kind of help their peers to do the same, as well as their fans to be like, look, I'm just going to do me. Whatever I resonate with or gravitate towards.
Yeah, it wasn't about where he was from. It was just about what he liked. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, I'm from New York, I'm a New York rapper. That's what makes me the best. He's like, I am ASAP. You know what I mean? I am ASAP Rocky, and that's what makes me the best.
Yeah, and you're right about that impact as well, because it wasn't really until last year and this year that raps started to get a bit more regional again, I would say. Like since the beef and Kendrick really like leaning into the the LA sound, and we're seeing it with like Chance with his album and Joey with it. Like, do you know what I mean? They're really leaning into like the sort of the history of where they're from and paying homage and whatnot. Yeah, hip hop or rap music specifically definitely became more. I don't know what the word is.
Borderless.
That's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Because the mixtape was obviously just people that he was in and around. He even had Schoolboy Q in there, which is kind of how I want to get to something I want to talk about later, but we'll save that for later. But having Schoolboy Q kind of made me go, oh, he's in bed, not in bed, you know what I mean? The phraseology of in bed. He's in and around Kendrick's people. And again, back then, I'd been listening to Kendrick for like a year or so. So I was like, oh, okay, this guy's clearly people are rocking with him, excuse the pun. But I don't know. I liked what he was doing, but I just didn't really get what was going on when there was this big gap between the mixtape and the album, right? And it's not like he kept popping up all over the place. It's just like the music was still playing, but he was not around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that showed the power of it, though. Like, it did always feel like quite an organic movement and something that was really impacting people. It didn't feel like it was getting like overly pushed. Or I know we're saying that he got a big deal and everything like that, but at the same time, from what I've kind of like read into this, is that like New York DJs and things like weren't really like doing much for him. but the music was connecting with people. Definitely with our generation.
It was
who
the
were
internet
heavily on
era,
the
right?
internet.
So
Yeah.
people our age back then, we weren't really listening to the radio like that. Everything was getting downloaded and put on your MP3 player, and being played that way. So ASAP came up in a good time for his sound, because if it was down to radio play, he didn't stand a chance, because none of that mixtape stuff belonged on the radio. There was nothing to mix it into or out of. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the big songs were getting play. I think it was just like
That's people requested it though, isn't it? That's people being like,
I don't
play
know, but
peso.
I don't know, but apparently like it was off of sheer like, oh, this like people are going mad about this music. We need to play this, rather than like Yams turning up and like paying money for it to get spun a certain amount of times a week or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It was really taking off, and transcendent really. I feel like people from outside of hip hop culture were dabbling with A$AP Rocky as well, and you could see that from the features later down the line as well. Some of the artists he worked with, but yeah, we'll get to that. So did you feel like you felt like there was a big gap between mixtape and debut album?
I was busy, right? I was 2011 to 2013. I was in sixth form. I was in uni. I was busy. I wasn't sitting around looking for music like I was when I was in secondary school. Right? I wasn't every day on the computer like, oh, what's come out? What haven't I heard? Let me listen to this. Let me listen to that. But there was definitely, in my mind, 2 summers without A$AP Rocky being around, and then towards the latter half, maybe 2013 summer. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Okay.
Yeah, was it definitely 2 years?
I'm lying.
'Cause I could've
Goldie came out.
Goldie, early
came
2012.
out.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah,
sorry.
'cause-
The gap between the albums I'm correct about, but what I am trying to highlight here is it's like I'm hearing A$AP, but I'm not getting as much A$AP. Whereas with Drake is dropping and dropping and dropping.
Now, Sam, I remember when Goldie dropped, I think there was a gap, and it was like, so what's happening now? What are you giving us? It was just Goldie for a while.
But I thought Goldie was something come out and missed on the mixtapes. Do you know what I mean? Because it sounded the same.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so my memory of it, Goldie came out like beginning of 2012, and I know like we liked the song, but it didn't really pop like that. If you remember, it wasn't huge. It wasn't a huge single. And then fucking Problems came out, and I remember I just started uni, and that song got played a lot. That song was
That's
always
a weird one though, right? Because it's not a party song. It's like.
It's just a hype song, to be honest. It's not really a party song at all. It's a hype song because it's not like
they've dumbed it down a lot though. Like the lyrics are not complex at all.
No,
but they're flowing on there though.
Yeah,
they're flowing, but I think the whole essence of that song is just to get hype. It's not really like a party song. It's like the way they're all getting their energy up, especially like how the DJs used to play it in the clubs as well. They played it like it was a hype track. Wasn't anything that was
fucking Problems.
Like,
people used to play it so you would sing the fucking Problems bit.
No, trust me. Where I was like when I was in Target Tight, that's what they were doing. The DJs were playing it like that. They were trying to get everybody to sing along with it. Oh yeah, fucking Problems. I'm like, okay, mate.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah, that is
not bad
record.
Bitches. That's to get the girls going.
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
Do you remember this?
I'm a bit confused.
Back then, girls never used to get going to that the same way they'd get going to like Bands and Make Her Dance and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's 2 different songs though.
No, but you get what I'm trying to say. You're saying it's to get the girls going. But Bands and Make Her Dance.
That's literally twerking, stripping music. That
song used to
that is throwing racks. That
jumping. And then you mix that into back that ass up. Wow.
That's 2 different. But I think that one's like that's a great one because I think for the guys they can say I love bad bitches, and for the girls they can be like I'm a bad bitch kind of thing. Like, so I think that's why it works really well. And then there was iconic lines in everyone's verse in there, and I think people was picking when it came out who had a better verse. And it was a toss up at one point between Kendrick and Drake. But it was, and I think this was a mix.
Back then, we're not even pitting. Nowadays we're pitting Drake and Kendrick against each other for obvious reasons. But back then, we were not pitting them against each other like who's the GOAT. We were just like, who's the best right now? I wasn't.
Well,
But they were right at the
it was
beginning.
early
though.
for GOAT
Exactly.
competitions,
Yeah, it was
but-
early days. Like they were just coming out, and to be honest with you, if you would ask that question there and there, people, it was Drake. Drake was dropping the music, man. Drake
No,
was
Drake-
like just had.
Drake
Drake
was
was
the guy.
coming.
Swimming pools.
Drake was.
Do you not
yeah.
remember this?
No,
The
I remember
factual
swimming pools, but I'm
Swimming
sorry.
pools was out.
No,
Swimming pools was
but
bigger than Drake's.
no.
Take Care.
But I'm talking about in the clubs when people thought, swimming pools dropped, but Drake was on the run of like Take Care, like all the songs just coming out.
Yeah.
The DJs were just playing the songs. When the motto used to come on in the clubs, oh my god,
no.
everybody just went off.
100%.
Everybody went
100%.
It was that
100%.
song was played so many times.
But-
you got the girls going crazy, the guys going, it was nuts.
I
Absolutely
definitely feel like
nuts.
the dynamic at this point was unity. There might have been a bit of like fans being like, oh, I prefer Drake or Kendrick and that, but because you got to think One Train was on that same album as well. That's
what
Yeah,
I'm
One
trying to
One
say.
Train was fire.
5-6 people.
That's
So
what
if
I'm
anything,
trying to get to.
it was like purely just sort of like rap sort of competitiveness. It was. And this is before Control and like the BET cipher and all
But
this
this
stuff.
is what I'm saying.
And Drake took Kendrick and Rocky on tour as well, didn't he? Around that
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's lots of weird videos of them in like gas stations, and Cole is around as well sometimes. It's like, have you seen these videos, Sean?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
they're like in
Listen,
some random diner just doing random shit. I don't know if
Yeah,
those
yeah.
videos are available anymore.
there's one of Cole and Wale at a diner. There's like
Yeah.
Black Hippie and ASAP Mob doing shit together.
Yeah.
There's also there's
They need to
there's a
sit
time-
down and talk
there's a
about
time.
what that time period was like, because 2012, they're all like they're all building a name, but it's very clear that one person is ahead of the others just because he had that co-sign from Lil Wayne. Like, think about ASAP. ASAP had no backing from anybody. Kendrick kind of had that loose Dre kind of collab, that kind of backing.
Kind of, yeah.
Cole's backed by Jay-Z, but the album didn't do what it was meant to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody's in this weird kind of, I don't know how to put it, like
The
What,
split
They're on
was-
the rise.
The
They're on
split
the
was
rise.
started.
I don't know if it was a rise though. It's a limbo.
It was a
They're all
rise. It
competing.
was. Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
competing at that time.
Yeah,
I
but
fucking
they're
love
all on
this
the
Seeing
rise.
how ASAP didn't have someone backing him though.
That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
get.
They're still on the rise though. Everyone was bubbling.
Yeah.
This is like the new class generation of rappers coming through. It's like everyone, like when you get in football, any kind of sport, like the new rookies. These are the rookies that are the rising stars that are got good songs out. Some are bigger than others, but they're still releasing heat. You know what I mean? And and the great thing about these rookies are they're all different.
Very
That's the
different.
great
Yeah,
thing.
that
Very
was what was
different,
nice about it. Yeah, 100%.
It was a
agree.
golden
They all
generation.
had
It's a golden
different
generation,
styles.
man.
Yeah.
Golden generation.
And I think that's
were lucky.
why they held their own for so long, because they weren't really jumping into each other's like lanes. There was so much room for everyone to exist. And yeah, I think ASAP definitely held a torch in what he was doing and the movement that he was working with.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll
Even
come on
this
to the
song-
music a bit more, but I was going to ask that. Do you see like elements of ASAP in artists like a Travis, for instance, or
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
No ASAP, there's
trying
no
to-
Travis. Travis, literally, if you look at what Travis was doing at the same time as ASAP, he was writing for Kanye, behind Kanye, like not even an artist, but he wanted to be where ASAP was. And I don't understand how Travis got on so quick. Do you know what I mean? Travis went from like irrelevant background vocals on Kanye stuff and ghostwriter to like, he's out of everybody we're discussing now, technically Travis is the biggest person, apart from Drake. Take Drake out of it, but yeah.
I know what you mean. He shot to like stardom very quickly, didn't he? Literally,
I remember Rodeo coming out.
yeah.
But I don't remember when that was. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Was
if
it
that
Rodeo at the back of? Was that 14 or 15? I can't even remember. It was
It's
that.
like what? How did he go from nowhere to somewhere? Like there was no moment. It was just like, oh, Travis Scott. You know what I mean? Like, can anyone else think of the moment? Huh?
I remember.
What did you say, Neil?
Kardashians. Just,
No. He was
But it
on
was
before the
before that.
Kardashians. He was on before the Kardashians.
I feel like
what do you think
Travis.
the Kardashians do? Anyway, that's for another episode.
The Kardashians do get out stuff to people. Like you see what's going on with Kanye right now. He's finished.
I feel like Travis, the hype really start. Well, I feel like he got quite a lot of credit for the production on Yeezus, like more from an inspirational level, and drums. I remember Ye used to talk about Travis's drums and things like that. And then there was that mixtape days before Rodeo. I can't remember what it was called. It was like something Pharaoh or something like that. I might have completely muddled that with someone else, but that's my memory of Travis. And then 2015
You have to remember
onwards.
as well, Ti just had this power. Like Ti was big as well. Remember how big Ti was in the 2000s? Anyway,
Not
he put
really.
on like he was.
He was.
He was. For a
Ti
song like
was
that,
big.
it's
Yeah, we
not
can't
hit.
say that
It's not
Ti
hit.
wasn't big,
T.I.
man.
wasn't
Ti
big
was
to
What are
me,
you
big, man.
talking
I was
about?
listening
Paper
to
Trails.
No, we
Paper
can't. No,
Trails
you
was a pop
come on.
album.
No,
That was
Ti
big.
was
Okay,
big. You
no, you're
know,
right. You're right.
we can't
He
just
had
dumb
that.
down. We can't dumb down
Yeah.
Ti like that. What are we talking about? Ti was
Yeah, no, you're
big,
right,
man.
you're
Let me get back to the point. Well, hold on. Ti had power to put people on. He put on Iggy Azalea of all people. Do you know what I mean? Like she wasn't even a rapper. Like
What
let's
do you
be
mean
real.
he bought Chip. I bought Chip. He signed Chip to his label. I meant to say he brought Chip to Atlanta. That was a funny time because Chip used to
Yeah.
go to my gym and he came back and I was like, I thought he was in Atlanta. He's like, oh no, that situation didn't really work. Da 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 da. I was like, oh okay. Remember Neil in my gym there used to just be bare random UK rappers just walking about. Neil would be like, oh my god, that's so and so man. I just know him as Gabriel. I don't know who that is. No,
Had you finished on your
didn't-
tip? Yeah.
Go on.
No, I was going to ask you, had you finished on your TIP? TIP, that was an album, shit.
Yeah, you came straight with Tip. I was like, are you
Yeah, I was
thinking
like,
about
what?
this? I'm thinking about the Wretch line.
I don't even like T.I. like that, and I'm calling him Tip, shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know
that's
if-
the
I don't
point.
know if
I
we
just
can
I
make
would
it
credit
sense here,
Ti.
'cause
You know.
What does
Yeah.
T.I. have to do with ASAP Rocky? Nothing.
Yeah, I'm like, how did we get here?
We're talking about Travis.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about what we're talking about.
Okay. But
It's off topic, but we're talking about it.
Listen, keep up with the program. Keep up with the program.
to roll it back a bit though, and the influence, I was going to say as well. I feel like Rocky and the mob were putting on artists like Uzi Vert and Yachty and people like that. I remember them being on the
No,
A$AP
100%.
Cozy
Not
tapes
Yachty.
and things like
Not
that.
Yachty.
Yeah,
Came
Yachty
up
was
on
on
his
the
own
Cozy
thing.
tapes.
Nah,
but
he
he
came up on
was-
his own.
But I'm saying he was on the Cozy tapes. Like that's the like. Like, I'm just saying. I don't know why that's funny, but yeah, I'm just saying like these artists were being embraced by Rocky in that movement. Is what I'm saying.
Cozy Tapes
It's
is
the
later though. That's
fashion
like
stuff, though.
2015, 2016.
No, I know. I'm not saying like it was earlier than that. I'm just saying like I'm talking about his influence generally. I'm not talking about like
Oh.
just at this
Are you
time,
saying
yeah.
basically ASAP was putting people on rather than being put on by other people kind of thing?
Not putting people on. I'm saying that he like a bit like the Travis thing. I think there was that not necessarily putting people on. I just think the influence was perhaps more widespread than he gets credit for. Either putting people on or just influencing them directly or indirectly, whether that be the music or the fashion, whatever. But some of these newer artists that got really big, I mean, is they were like they were being featured and given a platform quite early on.
Okay.
He was one of the early ones.
And one thing I can say as well, I feel like ASAP, Rocky, and his team are very marketable as well.
In what way?
Their branding and personalities, like their personalities, was just so marketable and like so entertaining for people. Do you know what I mean? Like the early interviews, they seemed like they had a lot of fun with each other, like just cracking jokes, and I feel like they had a lot to kind of give and just talk shit. And I think it was
ASAP reminded me of Ric Flair though. The way he kept coming through and being like, "I'm a pretty motherfucker." Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he was always just on that type of thing.
There
Like,
you
you know
go.
who it is, ASAP, Pretty Flocka, all these
Literally.
endless names.
Exactly, and I think that confidence, that fun energy, kind of just it drew fans in, and it made people want to just focus and listen to what they're saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Especially women though. Like that voice is soft and the style of music, so it's not aggressive hip hop at all.
yeah,
We
And
spoke
he-
about
he has
this the
a-
other day as well. About
he has a
music
Wayne-like
appealing to
voice
women.
as well.
Say that again.
He has a Wayne-like voice.
I don't know.
When I listen to
what
some
way?
of the songs, I hear Little Wayne.
Yeah, well, if we're talking influence, I mean Wayne.
Wayne
Yeah,
influenced
like,
everybody.
Mixed them
You-
all,
you know,
didn't he? Yeah.
Play some of his songs, you will hear Wayne. I'm telling you. I'm not saying like the flow, but just the tone and what he says, the way he raps certain times. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not like
Fair
I'm
enough.
Wayne, but
Well, I feel like we kind of mismatched, discussed Live Love ASAP and Long Live ASAP. So I want to kind of talk about the album because I know Sean wants to get to the album because he loved this album. Long Live ASAP. I don't really remember loving this album when it came out. And that is only because of what had come out in and around this album. You know, Nothing Was the Same was around. I still had some Kendrick Lamar to be playing. I feel like Schoolboy had dropped an album by then. There was so much other stuff to listen to that for me, Long Live ASAP didn't get as much play as maybe it should have. I just kept hearing the singles or like the big songs. So like I was hearing Fashion Killer, One Train, fucking Problems, that kind of stuff. But
Sam, even Future was around popping massive at this time too.
don't even get me started on that. Karate Chop. That was it. Listen, I've been on Future for a long time.
So Long Live ASAP came out January 2013. Yeah, so it was kind of wedged between.
Because of the internet as well. I was listening to that then. So,
what after that though?
No, that came out.
No, Long Live ASAP was beginning of 2013.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying in and around that time is when I'm hearing.
Well, we kind of got wedged between sort of Good Kid, Mad City and all that hype, and then a busy summer. Remember, there was it felt like an album every week. We had the whole Cole, Kanye, Mac Miller release date. There was a lot going on.
Oh yeah, that was
Frank
around
Ocean in
when
his
was,
prime.
yeah.
Frank Ocean dropped the year before.
Oh yeah, Frank Ocean.
Well, Channel Orange
mad
as well,
rotations.
So it was kind of in between all that. Did I love it? Did I love the album? I liked it.
You did like it. I remember you liking it. Whether you said you love it or not, I remember you liking it a lot. See, for me, yeah. No, I like the album.
It was. You used to just, or did you just like ASAP Rocky? Am I mixing up this album with that Long Last ASAP? I feel like maybe I am.
Yeah.
See, I really liked that one when it came out.
Maybe I'm
wrong.
wrong.
I did really like that one.
Okay.
But no, I did like
longevity
this one as well.
though. I feel like people were talking about songs on this for time, like that Fashion Killer one. I feel like even to this day that song is still popping.
It was like a sleeper single, wasn't it? There was a lot of hype around fucking Problems and the Skrillex track and things like that. But that one kind of crept in, and the video with Rihanna and all that. It was it's definitely had some longevity. I think. Do you know what it was with the album? And I listened to it again recently for this, and there's moments on there where I was like, he kind of took what he was doing on the mixtape to the next level. But then there were other moments. And Rocky's spoken this before. It was like a clear attempt to make the radio hits and follow a certain formula. So it was a bit like, I don't know if it was just a bit patchy in that sense. Like the middle is where there's a bit of a lull for me in that album. But then I enjoyed at the time, I enjoyed the singles. So it's a bit weird that.
Wrong. Wild for the Night was the biggest song on this
album.
album.
Wild for the Night, yes, you're right with that. That was huge.
Sorry, I just looked at the track list. I'm like, the songs we mentioned were not the big song. The big song was Wild for the Night.
Yeah, but isn't Wild for the Night the Skrillex track that Sean was saying?
It transcended.
Yeah. That song popped off. But I also think that song was able to touch a genre of people that weren't into that type of music as well. It started connected them together. So because I remember this specifically at uni, there was people who like you wouldn't associate them or like ASAP Rocky music, but they were like Wild for the Night. They were like going absolutely mental, but they were into that genre of music. When you get Skrillex involved, it's
Skrillex was taking over there. But sorry, it was only because Sean said that about attempts at bigger commercial songs, where I was like, wait, Wild for the Night is a song I remember everybody wanted to hear.
Yeah,
and I hated that song.
But it worked for that type of genre of people. Like I said, there had loads of people just going off on that track. It wasn't. It's just it was a big. You are right though. It's one of the biggest singles, one of the biggest tracks off that album, to be honest, because it, like I said, it touched a lot of people that wouldn't touch that music.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Is that even at the time, I feel like the mixtape flowed a bit better to me, whereas this one just felt a little disjointed. Like I said, I liked certain singles in isolation if I heard them in the club or listened to them at pre's or whatever. But then listening to the body of work, it just weren't flowing quite as well as the mixtape.
This is what I was saying earlier. Like I wasn't listening to this album because other albums that came out played like an album. This it didn't play for me. Do you know what I mean? Like I definitely had it. I remember buying it, but I don't remember playing it from top to bottom. As I look at this track list, I'm like, I don't know half these songs.
But then do you think like it had shit like Level on there and One Train and Suddenly and
One Train was
Phoenix
amazing.
Jody, and the Gunplay track, and it had like when I was listening back, I was like, oh shit, like a bit like you, I kind of forgotten how like good some of these songs are, but when you put them all together, I don't know why it just doesn't. I don't know why it didn't really work so much, but.
But if you look at the producers and the features, you can see where that million easily went, right? It went to Hit Boy for Goldie, it went to Drake, 2 Chainz, Kendrick for the features, it went to Joey Badass, Danny Brown. You know what I mean? Like that money got moved around the scene, whereas
Danger Mouse.
Yeah, a lot of people will take that money and go buy jewels and whatever else. He tried to make a commercial success, and it didn't work how it was meant to, which is a shame because you look at the formula. it should have worked.
It
What do you mean?
did well though, didn't it?
What didn't work about it?
Yeah, I was about to say, I still think it was successful, but I
Artistically,
wouldn't say
it
it wouldn't work. I wouldn't say that it didn't work.
It worked for me, is what I mean. Is that I wasn't running around in 2013 saying that A$AP Rocky was the next guy. Do you know what I mean?
There
No,
was enough
I hear
albums
that.
out though. Come on, like this is Nothing Was the Same year. I don't think
man,
we're gonna
come
care
on.
about this album.
There was
Everyone's
two.
saying yeah, but come on, but no one's saying any follow-ups to
No,
the yeah.
we're
come
letting
on.
you say your piece, innit?
My piece
We're
in
not
it
letting you-
didn't slap for me. It just didn't. It didn't do what other
Yeah,
things were
but
doing.
it
at
probably.
this time.
But the thing is what everyone's saying. It probably didn't slap because there was too much music around for it not to slap. Like you already had. No, you can't even pull a face like that, man. The expectations of certain albums put a level up there, and then this just fell like short. It wasn't hitting the levels of some of the albums that were around that time, and that's just a fact.
But I think it was successful though.
Definitely.
Very
It was.
successful.
I'm not
was
saying it
commercially
wasn't successful,
yeah.
but I'm saying it didn't do it. You know, like you think one album is the step to the next bigger album. This album was not the step to the bigger album. This was just it was okay. You know what I
No,
mean?
for sure. He had to
no.
tone down. He did tone down the drug thing a little bit on this one, and I think I like that's why he doubled down on the next album though.
Double down is an understatement.
He like tripled.
do you know what though? I feel like there's an element of it we're not doing him service with. I feel like some of this, again, I know it's a bit maybe inconsistent or disjointed, but some of this stuff was mad progressive. Like I don't think we were ready for some of the sounds on here.
No,
Yes.
definitely, 100%.
I don't think we were ready. Like when I listen back to Level in recent years, I'm like, I wasn't fucking with Level like this back then, and now I'm like, this shit is crazy. And then
It's
even
that
like
Clams Casino sound though. It's a crazy.
But
You know what's
Totally.
funny?
Even
That
the
song's
collab
actually
with
come back on TikTok as a viral sound. That A$AP Rocky
is it?
Level sound because
See
because
what I
that
mean?
sounds
This one,
big
yeah.
now because of like underground rap and all that kind of that sound is massive.
Yeah. Even today, when I listened to this again this morning, the track with Santi Gold, I was like, this is cool. I like this, but I just wasn't ready for it at the time. I don't think. Yeah, so I do think there's that element too. But
Do you think there's a world where A$AP Rocky is discovering this new sound, he's building this new sound, but it actually catches on, and then we're having a completely different conversation now? It's not what happened to A$AP Rocky; it's A$AP Rocky discog discussion. Do you know what I mean?
No, he was hard though. He started hard. Be like, we gotta
He
give him
did
his
start
props.
hard.
I
I'm saying
Because
it
it's
didn't
like, where
catch
is he
on.
right
Why
now?
didn't it catch on?
Where
Why
is
did we
he?
go
I
that
don't
way and not this
I don't
way?
think I think this is different. I don't think it's like, and we're going to get into this more. I don't think necessarily the quality of his music has dipped. I just don't think we've had music for a very long time, and that's the question:
Yes.
is like, why is he not as present, even though he's still been dropping music? Why have there not been more bodies of work, and why isn't he as
Exactly.
as sort of relevant as he used to be? I think that's more the question, because again, jumping ahead a bit, I actually think that the sort of the level across all three albums is good. I don't think there's like
Oh,
a
definitely.
fall
It's
off or
basically
anything
the
like
same, really and truly. He didn't fall off at all.
that. Yeah, and they're different albums as well. Like with this one, of course, it's like an extension of that mixtape and the whole like cloud rap, whatever that movement was. The next one, we're getting this like psychedelic alternative rock-ish type vibe going on. Testing, I'm not really sure what that is, but listening back, again, it's a bit like this, where at the time didn't really hit, but again, and we'll get to 2018, there was a lot going on in 2018, as we know, with the whole like Drake and Kanye and Pusha
But
T and everything like
still, Praise the Lord transcended. Like
Aye,
that's
Praise
a
the Lord
hip-hop
was still
classic.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I
that
feel
is-
like that late in your album runs, and you've got a single that big, that basically
Yeah.
is I feel like it's his biggest song, no?
that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But you're right. That definitely pushed through. But then even like, what was the other big single? I think it's like the second track. That's still like, I'm hearing it on an advert these days. That song.
FK Twigs.
No,
Sleep.
no,
Is it
that's
that?
a good one.
That's
though.
a
Fuck
good
yeah.
track though. Which one are you talking about, Sean?
Oh, it was the lead single for the album. ASAP Forever. Like that song is on. I can't remember what
yeah.
advert it is, but that's still like, you know, I'm still. I guess what I'm saying is I'm still hearing music from him, and obviously in this context, this album, to this day. But yeah, I think so. Just to kind of come back to that, I think that's more the question here is like, for ASAP never really like dipped in quality, so.
Yeah, maybe it's an element of what you said as well, that we weren't ready for it. Because when I think back to, I'm not saying it was experimental, but I think back to the sound he was building there. It was definitely like a lot of people were jumping on that sound, but none of those people were popping off. And so he kind of wasn't building momentum. He was just giving other people the flavor. Like you look at what's that guy's name? Oh, he's from Norway or something. Young Lean. Young Lean popped off because of ASAP Rocky's sound. You look at Uzi, popped off because of this sound. You know, what's that guy that died? Juice World. You know what I mean? That those people were doing music in the same style as ASAP, but then they switched over. Where ASAP never switched over because he was the pioneer. Do you know what I mean? So between Long Live ASAP and At Long Last, he just became more of himself rather than fitting into the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think that other than like, if we're talking about that generation that sort of came out between '09 and 2013, 2014, other than Cudi, out of the top guys, I don't know really who was as experimental and as
Cudi got lost.
progressive
We
as
discussed
Rocky.
that before, though. Cudi got very, very lost.
Yeah, but I feel like if you know, I've probably heard Rocky say this, which is why I'm saying it. I feel like Rocky does pay some credit to Cudi for like his sound and what I think Cudi just kind of opened up a door for a lot of people to be this sort of individual and experimental and things like that. But I can't other than him. If you think about like those guys that were mentioned in the Control verse and that, who was really sort of, I mean, who's doing tracks with Santi Gold and Skrillex and you know what I mean? Like I don't know, no one else is really doing that.
We're not credited here the landscape we're in. We're in the landscape where the album is controlled by the label, right? And so if you think back then, you need a hit, go to Skrillex. Santi Gold was massive back then. They had that Unstoppable song. They had 2 albums that I can't remember. I think the album was called Santo Gold. That album was massive. So you know, there's an element of these hits are orchestrated to fit him, but also they're kind of like you won't lose by getting Skrillex on the album. You won't lose by getting Santi Gold to do something on your project, you know?
But it's still a bit of a risk, though.
Yeah,
compared to his counterparts. Like, it's not the go-to move, if you know what I'm saying.
True.
No, because you could look like you're selling out. A lot of people basically do when they do stuff like that.
Wild for the Night didn't feel like a sellout. It just wasn't a song that was for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't feel like ASAP was out of place on that song. It just genuinely wasn't my type of music.
I understand that. Yeah,
I can remember that being in like Call of Duty trailers and I swear
it was
used
honestly
like
it was
that. Film
everywhere.
trailers,
That song was everywhere. That song was just
that song must have done well, but I think the audience that liked that song was never the one that was going to take ASAP to the next level. Whereas at this time, Kendrick's building a good fan base, Drake's building a good fan base. I feel like ASAP was just building his foundations in the sand rather than, you know, on terra firma, as it were.
Question as well, like, how do you guys feel like listening to his album from top to bottom? Like, what kind of album artist is he? If
He's
you were
not.
talking like,
He's not an album artist. That's what I've been saying. Carry on. But
okay,
that's what
so
I'm saying.
so his albums that he's released, how do you guys receive it? 'Cause you know, some people have like conceptual albums. Some are very concise. Some tell stories. Some talk about their come up. Like, for you guys, what is his message, or how do you feel from listening to his album?
It's flexing. I get a flexing feel, but I feel like if we're talking about the best, do you know what I mean? Like, it's not anything other than like, oh look, I can do it like this now. I can do it like this now. But I think the psychedelic album, they all are a bit, but you know the one I'm talking about. I can't remember the title. Long Live. No,
that's At
Long Last.
At Long Last.
At Long Last. I feel like that was. I mean, the concept is like, let's get as high as possible and just go down this trip, and it's a cool concept. I think like it works for that one, for sure.
Okay. Go on, Sean.
I say it's a good question because I've always rated A$AP Rocky. I've always, you know, listened to his music, but I don't really, other than the mixtape. And then At Long Last A$AP, around the time it came out, I've never really like, you know, banged out an album. Never really like, it's never sort of like sat with me for a summer, or do you know what I mean? And I think what it is I'll try and be respectful with this, because on a sonic level, like I'm saying, I've always found his music super, super interesting, and the direction he goes in with each body of work is refreshing and ages well too. But I think I like him as a rapper as well. I like his voice. I like the way he sounds, this and that. But I think as a lyricist, I don't take much from the projects, substance-wise. Whether it's storytelling, whether it's like, you know, concepts, or, you know, whatever it is, I don't think there's anything that really stays with me and that I go, oh, I can really relate to that, or do you know what I mean? Anything like that. So maybe that's it for me. Maybe it's that the lyricism is not quite there.
Yeah, that's probably what it is for me as well, right? Is in there's nothing there that makes me I don't relate to ASAP at all, but I like what he's doing, and then the music can't stay with me if it doesn't. Why am I going to listen to music that doesn't relate to me where I'm at? And maybe it's like misalignment of timing, or maybe I just never did enough drugs. I don't know what it is entirely, but definitely the mixtape felt like a cool thing. I was enjoying it. The first album, again, like I said, it was like I was hearing songs, I wasn't really feeling the whole thing. But at long last, ASAP, I think this might have been the time when me and Sean were just riding around listening to music and going to the cinema all day. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we listened to the album quite a lot.
That was probably my bad as well. That's probably on me. I'm saying my bad like it wasn't a bad thing. It's a good album.
No,
but,
it had good songs on it, but
yeah.
it was more so like, I don't know. Is it A$AP Rocky's music? You have to listen to it with somebody, or else it just doesn't hit the same.
Well, that was the
When
other
you
thing I was
listen to it
thinking.
with someone, there is a gas.
This is what I mean. Maybe I'm discovering it now. Maybe
I can't explain it.
now.
Because if I'm being super honest as well, 2011, 2012 to 2015-ish, I'm definitely out more. I'm definitely drinking more. I'm definitely indulging in other things a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So there's that, and with that comes a communal experience. The music definitely lends itself to certain substances. Yeah. Neil just says it straight.
I was getting high.
I think you're right though. It's that lack of substance in the music and even Neil's original point is like albums should have some level of substance to like connect the songs, and there's not really anything connecting it other than like let's get high.
But Wiz Khalifa,
that's the
Wiz
main thing you
Khalifa's
get
all
from
about
it.
getting high, and I like Wiz Khalifa without being high. You know what I mean? Maybe you need to be high to like ASAP's music. Sorry, Theo, but yeah, that was
no, because I agree with what you're saying, because like I like A$AP as a rapper, I really like him. But when I go to the albums, it's not like I'm ever coming away from the album thinking, it's bad or anything. I just don't go back to them. There's nothing there's nothing attached to it to make me want to go back. So
Exactly.
I know, and I don't want this to sound harsh, but it's not like I'm not going to A$AP Rocky for like albums. I'm not going into an album expecting like I want an album there. It's like maybe I'm there looking for a few songs that I can sort of vibe to, because I don't think when he's making an album, there's nothing that's just clawing me to like listen and go and play it in my rotation. But maybe it is just for vibing, because like at long last A$AP, there is moments on that album that are nice and I really really like it, but I can't tell you that I'm just gonna sit and like play the album in rotation. Maybe you're right that it's a communal thing, and and it's good listening to like when you got people around, or like say for example if you're high or so. But like I'm not gonna sit there and just listen to it whilst on my own like I would certain other artists.
He does have the odd track here. I will give him that. There is the odd track here and there on his projects. Like I think of, is it Phoenix on the first album, where he gets a bit introspective. And then I think this is why I always used to really like listening to the second album, is Holy Ghost. I feel like that he was tapping into something there with all the religious references. And so when going into it, especially with the album kind of like being an acronym for Allah, right? I was like, we're going to get deep with religion on this one, but it doesn't quite go there. It doesn't quite sort of really stick to the concept or really dig into that content. But he has his moments. But I have like a memory of him in an interview talking about, and I don't know whether we'll get onto this at some point, but I know he's been through some really fucking like tragic losses and shit in his life, but I think he's not wanted to, some artists, they like music's their therapy and they use it as a way of working through their traumas and that. I think for him it's like he'd rather not really delve into that stuff too much. So there's definitely, you get hints of it on certain tracks, but I think he just tries to stay away and goes for the vibes more rather than the actual like introspection and stuff like that.
But that's something I wanted to highlight as well, right? It's like I don't really know why A$AP Rocky makes music, and I don't mean that in a diss kind of way. I mean it is in like, it's not very clear to me what his mission is with the music. He's just making music. It's not to say he's making music for no reason, but he's, you know what I mean? I don't get from the albums like, he's made this album because Neil was, he's made this album to tell me about who he is. He's made that album to tell me about this or that part of his life. It's like the music's just really experimental, and and that's what ASAP Rocky's all about, is experimenting. And maybe it's like, you know, when life took over for him and was a bit traumatic. I don't know what you're talking about precisely, but he just was like, I don't need to do music because I'm not in the place to make music. I'm not in my best self, so I can't make music right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a theory, but when we get further on, I can kind of share my thoughts on it. But
should we ask which album everyone thought was best?
Yeah, I'll wait for some of this.
For me, I'm gonna go with Long Live ASAP just because of how much stuff is on there that I like. But that doesn't mean I don't like At Long Last ASAP.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? They're kind of neck and neck, but I have to pick one. So
I think it's like I said earlier. I think they're quite consistent in quality level, and for the longest, my favorite was always the second one. You know, over the years, but after going back to start it all recently, I like Testing. You know, there's something about Testing that has aged really well for me. Yeah, so it might be Testing out of those three. I know it's a bit of a rogue pick.
I was about to say that as well, you know, because I don't know, man. I think Praise the Lord is my favorite ASAP track. So it's just, if I was gonna go listen to an album, I'd want to hear what's around that song. I like the one with FK Twigs on that, the Frank Ocean one. Yeah.
No, I was going to say I agree with the fact that Praise the Lord, I think, is ASAP's best track as well. That track is... Yeah,
it's not even for ASAP as well. I feel like, I don't know, Skep the Pat and the beat and his features so good. But do you know what? It's that combo as well.
It's so good though. It gets you in such a nice vibe. I love it. Just right from when the beat drops and it's just the song's just it's just quality. Love it.
Skepta made that for ASAP for sure. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, ASAP was not going to come out with a song like that without that kind of Skepta influence, right? Like, as in, that beat was never going to come ASAP's way. That type of flow is a UK flow. Do you know what I mean? The back-to-back thing. American people don't really do it the same as UK people, but it takes us back to what we were saying here. ASAP Rocky is an experimental artist. To even work with Skepta as at the size he was. Go on, Neil. Seems like you have something to say.
No, that wasn't a UK flow.
It was.
That was a Memphis
because
flow.
Even Skepta was using the DMX flow on that.
That was DMX flow. That's a DMX flow. That's
okay, fair enough.
DMX. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Because he was listening to what song was it?
Who We Be.
That's the one. You got it. You got it.
Fair enough. But I don't know. I feel like there was an element there of what was made that would have never existed without them two collaborating. Like, I don't think Skepta would have got to where he got to without working with ASAP, and ASAP would have never got to where he got to with that track, by the way.
Yeah.
But without working together.
Yeah. I think Testing. I think Testing is definitely the one that I think I prefer overall. However, for nostalgia, the first project is
the mixtapes thing.
Just bring it back to smoking, and just doing dumb shit and just being a kid, just going through that kind of just rite of passage of just figuring shit out, just that kind of finding yourself. It's fun times, you know. And I think that was a time where we were so free as young people. You know what I mean? Like, we just got freedom. So it was like leaving from secondary school to college, whatever. Some people are driving, parties, drugs, girls, all that kind of stuff. It was just us acting out. It's that kind of Skins, Misfits kind of shit era of a time where we just kind of just can be, no pun intended, young, wild, and free. And it was just great memories, man. So,
do you feel like what's happened to ASAP is them drugs can only take him so far?
Nah,
it's like you got something. You know, he's still going.
No way. Look at what do you call it? Wiz Khalifa. Look at Snoop Dogg.
Wiz Khalifa's not really all about the weed like that anymore, though. He's doing like MMA and stuff. He's changed up.
He's buns it down.
But what's Snoop doing? Like musically, really and truly.
Watch his thing. Yeah, he will ban a whole few big splits before his training, bro. He buns it down.
Yeah, but he's medicinal with it now. He ain't all about being high.
That's all he is about.
Though, listen, like the names you mentioned, what are they doing musically, really? Though
who?
That's what we're trying to talk about here.
What?
I mean, Wiz is all right.
Future doesn't do that many drugs. He even said it.
I swear Future said in that album. What's it
Future
called?
said, "I don't do drugs as often as you think I do."
No, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like it's type of conversation in their music. Do you know what I
But
mean?
I think we can all admit like Future's music hasn't really changed for like 10 years.
But that's what
Yeah,
makes it so
hey,
good.
you're preaching to the choir. I'm not his number one fan.
You're backing him like
No,
you're
I'm
about
just
to
saying
argue
the
for it.
fact is Future's he's been famous and well known and popular off this kind of rap.
Future only popped
Like-
last year because of that Kendrick feature. Let's be real.
Only-
The album
No,
was
what are you
good, but it was the
talking
Kendrick
about?
feature.
Don't do that.
Look, I don't like
Come
Future,
on.
so stop trying to make me
Come on,
defend
it
this
was.
guy. I don't like him. Well, let's just not do this.
Future's
Okay?
been a big deal for a long time. Like, he's got eternal bangers that people love in the scene. So let's not even try that.
But yeah, I feel like I feel like talking about drugs. I don't think it limits you. I think it's all about how creative you are and what kind of sound you're providing. Pusha T is a perfect example of that. Rick Ross.
But he's not talking about sniffing coke. He's talking about selling it.
exactly. I know that, Kieran.
I'm just trying to say, like,
He would not be,
I'm
he
trying
would
to
not be as
say,
old
That
as he
might
is
be
now.
quote
He'd
of the
be
night.
dead. Like,
That is quote of the night. That is something else.
you know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying
I
to
get what you
say
mean. You mean like a drug user?
it's like how
Okay.
how far is this topic gonna take him really? And it's
think-
like the people he was talking to
Yeah.
back in those days, like you said, like going to skins parties. Are they still going to skins parties? Really? Like,
some of them
I
are,
feel like
but
they've
you
moved
don't
on
want to
in
be
life.
doing that at 30 because you can't keep a job down doing that. It's
Yeah.
not
A
good for you.
minority.
No, but
So
again,
okay,
though, like,
hold on. So are you saying is it like he's not aging with his audience? Is that what you're saying?
That's one of the points, and I think the other point is I do think like there is a culture shift in how like Gen Z are and the kids and stuff. Is that the mental health is like not that great, and I don't think they're into drugs the way.
Oh, they're into drugs. What do you think they keep
Oh
passed
no,
out at
Kieran, they're into
concerts?
drugs.
Why do
No,
you think
Kieran,
they keep passed
they're
out all
into
the fucking
drugs.
time? It's
No,
the
Which ones are we
drugs.
talking about? Other than
No. Sam's right.
cigarettes.
Honestly, I deal with 16 to 18-year-olds as a job. They are into drugs. Like the amount of
They got
people that
drugs
get
that sound
booted
like
off of
that-
like
like serial
college
codes.
schools. If anything, they're in.
B222.
Yeah, they're into drugs way more than what we were. Like they take it to a next.
No.
No, they take it to the next level. I don't think you understand what they're doing. Like weed
I've
is
seen
nothing
like the
to
kids
them.
with autism doing that. Like I'm not seeing that. I'm
I'm
being
laughing.
real. Like I'm being real.
Mute my
What
mic.
did he say?
What are we saying?
I'm not naming names.
I heard autism. That's what I heard. What the hell? That's staying in.
I've seen
Where's
some
the
stuff,
button
but
for that one?
You're saying like you.
Oh no!
Keep that, you know.
No. Keep that in. That's fine. Turn it up.
we're getting lost. We're getting lost.
It's getting to the end, isn't it?
Why? Why?
Now, there's what we actually.
What I was saying, no, because we're talking about like whether drugs take them so far. I just don't think you realize how much drugs Gen Z are into. I don't think that
I
it will
didn't
blow
know
your
that, to be
mind.
honest.
It'll blow your mind.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
I just thought they had mental health problems.
Nah, the pandemic fucked them up, and drugs are bringing them back. But they ain't doing drugs right, man. They're trying to die. Like it's not. Yeah, ain't.
But I feel like overall, I feel like
What?
even though I hear your point for you, I feel like we're becoming more. I feel like as a whole we become more health conscious, and it's not as much of a cool thing. I feel
You
like
see what I'm saying? Yeah.
I feel like back then it was like cold,
Get as mash up as possible.
purple
yeah.
haze.
Yeah, I hear what
Like
you're saying.
it
Yeah.
was just like ecstasy. Like it was that thing to be like, you had Project X film, you had Hangover, you had Knocked Up, all these like cult comedy. It was in everything. It was in films, music videos, TV shows. This kind of drug, kind of like cool thing. Whereas now, I don't think it's as much of a trending kind of.
Oh no, I hear that. I hear what you're saying because it's right. Back when it was a lot cooler to do drugs, whereas the drugs that they're doing now is mad. It's like it's not even cool.
Yeah.
It's like they're just going straight on ket and coke, and they're just like they're just zombies, man. And it's not to do like with it being cool or not. It's not like like you said back in our era where it was actually like, oh yeah, let's go like get on promethazine or like get on lean and stuff like that. It was like a cool thing to be able to do, whereas now I don't think it's like that at all.
I ain't gonna lie. I started sipping lean because of some Serbian guy, and I regretted it because it hurt my stomach so much. So like, don't sip.
That stuff is not good, man.
You feel like you're falling asleep, but then you want to be up. Oh yeah, don't do lean, kids.
Yeah, please don't.
Just so I'm clear on the convo, are we kind of just talking about why ASAP hasn't sort of
We're bringing it back
maintained
to the question.
Yeah.
of this type-
Yeah.
It's kind of like
I think-
it's kind of what you say with Drake, and But your argument, I think Sean, times have been like he hasn't really aged properly. He hasn't given us a 444. He kind of talks about the Gale stuff the same way as he always does. So I think it's kind of like a parallel in that sense.
I mean, I don't know if I'm completely with that. I think because I'm thinking about we're talking, so Testing's what, 2018. We haven't had an album since then. We've had a lot of music from ASAP. We still had a lot of music.
He had a hit this year with this song, Back Out the Trunk from the Front to the Back. That's a big song.
Yeah. And I think there's a number of factors. I think one key thing is, I don't think it's the loss of Yams. I think that he was so instrumental on the marketing and the whole journey of piecing these projects together and getting them out there and coming up with a way of packaging all that. And I know he did it with Testing, but I wonder if that experience has sort of taken its toll, being like, I'm not really sure on how to, like, what the vision is. I'm making all this music. I had a look before this. I think that since 2018, if we're counting like collaborative singles, there's like well over 20. That's like 2 albums worth of music, but there's no album. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like still making music, sometimes making good music that's resonating, but it's like not being able to package it. And I think that Yams not being here is a big factor in that.
Are we leaning into what I think we're leaning into, which is the Tyler kind of era, which he's in now, technically? Testing onwards and Tyler kind of times.
Yeah, I mean, how many collabs have they got though? Like, as in, like, before, after? Is it mainly after sort of 20? Because I'm thinking of Who That Boy, 2017. That's like Flower Boy, isn't it?
Potato Salad.
Potato Salad's like 2018, 2019.
They've got 3. I'm gonna try look them up.
But he's done some great collaborative tracks, Rocky, since that last album. Like, I'm thinking of like Aria with on the Thingy album. Oh, what's that guy called? The one that's with Pharrell. Is it Nigo or Nigo?
Oh yeah, that is.
I knew you were going to try that. There's also, like, he did a track with Slow Tie, and there's the one with Yachty and Tierra Whack, and is it Tokyo Drift, or what is it called? That one?
Song, yeah.
Yeah, there's like loads of
Muramasa one as well. It's a little bit earlier, but that was a big song.
Yeah.
The Muramasa stuff was rubbish, Like, honestly, I like Muramasa without A$AP Rocky on it, but that's just me being me.
It just dominated. I'm just saying this.
It did. I think the thing is with this episode, right? We're asking what happened to A$AP Rocky as if he doesn't exist anymore, right? But he's around.
It does feel like that.
He's
in
constantly
this moment,
around, though.
I'm not hearing him for a while.
He's never not been like. He might not be making the hit records that he did in the early part of his career, but he's never not like released music, really. I feel like the only year was maybe 2020. But even that was the year that track with Tyler and Yachty and Tierra Whack came out. So he's always involved in some way. But
I tell you one thing that has happened with him though? This Don't Be Dumb album, all of the lead-up singles, none of them have been hits. Let's be honest. I looked at the release tracks, and none of them look like any of the previous albums. It's just like, why did you drop any of these?
I think it's not knowing how to, because I think he's made some really good songs over the last, how many years has it been now? 7, 8 years? I think it's just not knowing how to package it. But I do think the other thing, particularly in the last, because he really felt like he was building towards an album last year. You had the track with Cole, you had
that was a nice one.
Was it Rowdy? Yeah. Was it Rowdy or something like that? You had like Hijack.
That Pharrell one, right?
But he was involved in that case last year. And he was looking at like 20 plus years in prison if he was going to get convicted. So that's going to take up a lot of your head. I'm thinking, do I try and beat a case or do I drop an album? And I think he's going to focus on that.
I think he chose the right priority,
Yeah, and that's not the only thing that he's had as well.
That case for a minute, because there was a lot going on around that case, but the second it was solved, the way he chopped over them barriers to hunt Rihanna was crazy.
That's a man that was relieved, to say the least. But I think, and that's not the only thing. I remember he was in jail like for a month in Sweden in 2019. There was that whole situation. Do you remember that? Yeah, so he's
Wrestling
been
with
through
the
some
niggas,
stuff. He's
slipping
been
on
through some stuff.
semen.
But do you know what? Actually, I might take this chance to kind of share my theory, and it's not. This is me just connecting dots and just like coming up with an assumption based on a lyric and then piecing things together. But basically, he says on the track with Frank on Testing something like lost someone every release. It feels like a curse or something like that, or there's a curse in me. And I looked into that. So coming around the time of the recording or the release of the first album, he lost his dad, who had been in prison for like 15 years prior to that. And then around, I think just after he recorded the second album, Yams died. And then I didn't know this till recently. I think his sister died around Testing times.
Whoa.
So every time there's a major drop in his career, he has a huge, huge loss in his life. And I'm thinking now,
He doesn't want Rihanna to go. No,
listen, but exactly
Yeah.
that. He's got
Yeah,
the
probably.
so-called love of his life. He's got what, 2 kids, another on the way.
Yeah, 2 kids.
Them
Yeah,
two
2,
need help.
3 on the way.
Yeah. So now he's never had more to lose at this moment in time. So is it a case of, and you think about all the other ventures he does, whether it's fashion, film, business, whatever, it's like, do I really need to be doing this? I can make my music and put my singles out, see how it lands with people, but like, if he really feels this way, if he really feels like his career or his life is cursed or whatever, is he really going to want to make another? Is he really going to push to make a body of work? Is what I'm saying. Because again, how can you release 20 to 30 tracks and not have an album? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of music to make and not make an album.
Yeah.
So it's just got me thinking. Like maybe it is just like it's really intentional. Like
But the proof is there. That, now you've connected all these dots. I'm like, well, if that's what it is, then if you've never watched Fall of the House of Usher, I don't know if you've seen that on Netflix.
I'm aware.
Yeah, so this guy made a deal where it's like, you could be the richest man in the world, but when you die, everybody connected to you dies as well. so whether or not that's true, you know what I mean? Like, I'm here for it, but I don't think I'm waiting for an A$AP Rocky album. I know Kieran is. Kieran wants "Don't Be Dumb" or whatever it's called. I'm not.
I don't know if I do, man. Don't put that one on me.
I don't know if there's anyone. Is there anyone out there dying for the A$AP Rocky album? Like I know.
I don't think he is though. I swear there was a recent quote where it's like he's not looking forward to releasing this project.
I just googled recently what he's done, and he did Camp Flognor yesterday, and then on top of that, he had album merch that said this album's never dropping, which is just. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's like tactical marketing or if that's like trolling.
He's trying to do that Playboy Carti thing.
But to just kind of clarify what I'm saying though, I think that may have been the case for. He might not feel that way now, but it may have been the case for a lot of this period of time. I think that there was, like I say, I think there was definitely been an attempt to drop an album, but I think that case last year got in the way. But I wouldn't be surprised if, say, like for the sort of 4 or 5 years prior to that, he was like, nah, I don't know, I'm good, man. Because remember, it was the year after Testing, the album was All Smiles. That was this next project that was coming out, and then didn't really hear anything about it. And then suddenly, like 2 years ago, it was Don't Be Dumb, and So I just wonder whether he's really actually wanted to make an album, and that's why it's just taken so long for something to come out. And in answer to that question,
is like then, because like for a musician, their day to day is a little bit of PR, a little bit of marketing, go to the studio, whatever. Do you think A$AP's not going to the studio to make music? He's more so going to the studio to see his friends, like what I mean, like Tyler and stuff, and then they pull him into the booth type thing.
Possibly. I mean, the amount of, because again, there's been a lot of features, so it makes me think that he has been working, but I think. It could be that though as well. If someone's got an album going on, or there's like this person's in the area, maybe he is hopping in and then doing something like that. But I feel like his time's more caught up with family and fashion, and of course there's been some films in recent times as well. So the music's kind of maybe like 3rd, 4th, 5th down the pecking order.
Wasn't he in a TV show? Am I misremembering this? Did he do an acting thing?
Well, this year he was in the Spike Lee film. And then he's got another one coming out with Rose Byrne. So he's been busy, like he would have been busy over the last year or two filming those. I remember he was in Dope. That might have been his debut.
It. That was okay.
I remember that. Yeah. Can't think of any.
No, you're right. He was in Zoolander, but he was in Zoolander as himself, so that doesn't count.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he's done bits and bobs, but I think fashion's the one that probably takes up most of his time.
But he's not really the fashion guy. Like he doesn't design nothing. He just wears
I think
clothes.
he does,
Does he
he does.
design stuff?
Yeah, I think he does.
I thought he
He
just wears clothes. Like, you know what I mean? Like Tyler makes clothes, right?
What is his line called?
Yeah, you can still wear clothes and be a fashion guy though.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean, though? Like, when you think of Kanye as a fashion guy, he's making clothes. You think of Tyler as a fashion guy, he's making clothes. Like, just wearing clothes doesn't make you a fashion guy.
It does, man.
It does
Kanye was wearing fashion. He was wearing all these Yves Saint Laurent. He was wearing
because he needed
Louis
the
Vuitton.
Medici family to step up.
He was wearing Bape. He was wearing all these things. Same with like Pharrell. Like they were all wearing these big brands.
Pharrell's like head of Louis
everyone-
Vuitton, isn't he now? Like, but that's what I mean.
Now
Are
he
you-
is.
Are you saying that A$AP Rocky is on the trajectory to do that? Is what you're?
I wouldn't be
100%.
surprised. Yeah, he just won.
100%.
I didn't notice he won like a style icon award. I think with I can't see it here, but I think he's deep in that game. I think he is like.
Definitely.
But I'm not. But the reason I can't speak is I'm just not into fashion like that. But I've heard about his line. I remember he did a. There was a big what's it called? Like a what do they call it? Like a fashion show or a walkout? I don't know what it was. Where it was his stuff, and it was
Fashion
like
Week, what do we
people.
call it?
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what the name is for it, but I remember there was like I can't describe the clothes, but there were people like carrying bin liners with cash in and stuff like that, and there was this whole concept around it. I think he's really big into that world. And then he has the deals with like
all the time. I don't see him dressing like, you know, he's always in these suits. Like, that is fashion, but like he's very smart now.
yeah.
Sorry,
I've always thought his you know his style's good, but I think he has deals as well. He's had like what Puma and I think like Adidas, and there's been like different things over the years, but because I'm not in that world, I can't remember the names in that, but yeah, he's deep in there. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 5-10 years he's got a top role somewhere.
Maybe that's what happened to A$AP then, that he's just trying to get into fashion. He doesn't really care. You know, like some people use whatever they get popular with to get to where they actually want to. Maybe that's what he's doing.
Possibly.
Could be. Or it could just be that, but yeah.
It's interesting as well because Rihanna's kind of got that bug of not wanting to drop an album since 2015 as well. And it's like they're just coupled together feeling the same way. So I don't think they're helping.
I ain't gonna
each other.
lie, yeah. I don't know what's going on with Rihanna because when I say she went out on top, yeah, that's an understatement. She went out like we were expecting the next album to drop and it just didn't. You know what I mean?
She reached the pinnacle of pop music, really and truly.
She should be bigger than Beyonce, but she's not because she refuses to do music. Why are you screwing up your face like that, Bill?
What are we doing? Shut up.
She should be bigger than Beyonce.
Shut the fuck up. No way.
She
There is always that
pop,
debate though, Rihanna versus
stratospheric.
Beyonce.
That's not a debate, man. What are we doing? And Rihanna is levels. Let's not get it twisted. It's not a debate.
I think she
It's
had
not a
better
debate.
hits. You look at some of the songs Rihanna made.
She'll get killed, man. What the fuck are we talking about?
Wait, what? Did you,
In the
what did you
verses,
say?
in the verses, she'll get killed. Like, let's not do that.
Beyonce did
I thought
like
you
that
were like,
drunken
what?
love stuff, but Rihanna did it way better. Do you know what I mean? Like that time when they were released at the same
No,
time.
Rihanna's
was
sick.
good.
Sick. It's just that it's not a good idea to compare them because, like, in terms of like who's better or who's not, because it's a clear winner for Beyonce. She's been doing it way longer, and not to say that longer makes it better, but she's had hits way longer. She's had like
The
longer
things
time.
with Beyonce,
Do you know what
right?
though?
She's an unstoppable machine.
I swear Rihanna's got more monthly listeners on. I don't really care, but like I swear she does.
That has to
than
be
Beyonce.
right.
I swear she does.
Could
Someone's
be.
gonna
Let's
like,
have a look.
It won't change.
Rihanna's not
facts,
dropped
though.
anything for 10 years, like project wise.
Great.
Barely a single.
Oh, he's right. You know, 53 million for Beyonce and 107 million for Rihanna.
Rihanna is
Don't
a
change
different
that.
level of
That is
pop.
crazy.
But then you got to remember.
Why do you know? No, hang on.
But
Why
B's
does
got
he know
the
that?
But B's
I
got
I
the
feed
Destiny Child
Rihanna's
as well.
one. I'm shocked that like she
But Beyonce's
just
got
used-
Destiny Child as well.
Destiny's Child is not coming into the conversation.
It's like the fucking biggest girl group in the fucking world. What are we talking about?
They're not the biggest girl group in the world. What are you
I was thinking, how does
smoking?
the maths
They're
work,
one of the
man? I
biggest girl groups
wasn't,
in the
I
world.
wasn't
It's
down
the
in the group.
No, one of maybe. What is this language we're talking about?
They're not the biggest.
I said one of the biggest. What are we doing today? No.
No, Neil, I was
I'm
thinking
gonna
about
stop.
the
I'm gonna stop.
how the numbers work. Not I wasn't thinking like I agree with
The
you.
biggest girl group in the world is a K-pop group right now, and you know it
Oh,
is.
fuck off.
No,
I'm being honest.
wait, no, we're not doing K-pop Demon Hunters or whatever. Then
I'll
like,
tell you, I've got a list. Okay, I've got a list. It's Spice Girls, The Supremes, Little Mix,
Come on, Little Mix a big
2NE1, which is a South Korea thing, TLC, AKB48, which is Japanese, then Destiny's Child.
nah, we're not doing that. That's just
10
disrespect. No, no,
I was talking about
Destiny's Child, we need
right
to
now.
better- Yeah.
Talking about
No,
right
this is
now.
all time best-selling girl groups worldwide.
Oh, selling? Oh, okay, no, we're not. Of course, K-pop is going to be up
And
there,
then
man.
guess what's underneath them? You'll never guess what's underneath them, Neil.
Underneath them,
Yeah.
girl group. That's going to be a hard one. I'm going to go with either Pussycat Dolls.
How does he know? How does
Yeah.
he know? That's exactly what it is.
I know girl groups, man. I'm not.
Nah, you're
I'm just
right.
saying, like, we can't. Like, Destiny Child is insane.
Okay, yeah,
Absolutely
you're right.
insane.
You're
I have
right.
to admit, I'm quite shocked by those monthly listers. I know that's only one. That doesn't
One metric.
equate to like, that's one metric. But I am shocked that Rihanna still has that number.
It's the white
not.
music.
I think
fans.
Beyonce
Let's
fans
be
buy
honest.
her music and listen
Okay,
to it
I'm shocked
offline.
that Rihanna has double the amount of Beyonce. That's
it's
that's
It is a crazy thing.
Yeah.
That's
that
a
is a
shock.
shock. Yeah, I agree.
That's
with that
crazy,
point. Yeah, for
especially
sure.
because
She has
Beyonce has
power.
fairly consistently dropped.
Yeah, exactly.
Rihanna-
Rihanna
Rihanna
hasn't
is
dropped
the
anything for
fifth
10
most
years,
listened
and
to
she
artist in
still
the
has.
world.
It's just
Yeah, but
it's crazy.
But
That's
I think-
crazy that Rihanna has over 100 monthly listeners, and she's not dropped anything for 10 years. That is mad, though.
I
She'll
think
do like the odd.
it's
like,
definitely the music,
soundtrack.
but I think another thing as well is just the branding of the two. I think Rihanna is still very much current. I think in terms of she's way more personable. Like she lets you in. You kind of you can kind of relate to her, and she's more of a kind of star for the people. Whereas Beyonce
Whenever
is
Rihanna's
more
in
kind
London, I see people on my Insta with her, not around her. I'm talking about their inner Fenty,
Yeah.
Fenty Beauty. That's the thing.
Yeah, Fenty-
they're in a
Fenty.
Fenty party
Yeah.
and they're with Rihanna. They're not around her. She's behind the thing. She's about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's,
I kind of feel like Beyonce. I feel like she's kind of like the kind of Michael Jackson kind of untouchable kind of like you can't get near her. Like she lets you see what she wants you to see kind of thing. Like you can't.
But what would chilling
Like-
with Beyonce be like? You don't even know what the vibes are. Do you know
But
what I mean?
that's what I'm trying to say. Like I feel like, but the point I'm trying to say is that's exactly it. Like you won't know. Like she doesn't do interviews no more. Press is very minimal. Like we get small windows and glimpses of her through media. Whereas Rihanna's she's very funny and playful with the interviews. She shows you her personality. You see her at concerts rapping her man's lyrics or other people's songs and gassing
It's
them
more
up.
human and relatable.
Yeah, like it's more relatable. So I feel like her fans are more in touch with her. That along with her good music and her versatile kind of like range definitely helps, I think.
Also, just doing so many dance tracks. Actually,
Yeah,
I feel like it's
so
really
many.
transcend a lot.
So many.
Okay,
But
so
if
let's
Beyonce
try and
did
bring
that-
this back to ASAP Rocky. So you're saying they're sat up in the crib, obviously
They're just
making
chilling, like, we don't
babies
need to
and
make
not
music.
making music.
Yeah, he's living off her money. Oh no! I shouldn't
oh,
have said like that, but like,
oh,
oh no!
wow.
Come on,
Hey,
that's
man.
it.
It's not even a two-way street. It's just like she's just she's
She's a billionaire though. Let's be honest. She's actually like a big baller. Like, why would he
Yeah.
spend his
She
money?
don't need you to eat. Is that what you're saying?
Wow.
Is that what you're saying?
God.
A lip gloss.
God.
I'm just
What
saying,
are
like,
we
what are the
doing?
conversations in the house? Like, shall we make music today? It's probably the answer to me no. Like, I'm just being real.
Do you know
You're
what it
treating
is,
like they're
though?
asking to go out to the cinema. Like, oh, should we go see a film today? Should we make?
Do you know what it is? I feel like if they're artists, if they're that artist like that, I believe. I feel like they probably make songs and just don't release them.
Yeah, no,
I don't feel like
If-
they
if-
do, you
if-
know?
If they are real artists, they probably do. But it's like,
Yeah.
do we need to go out and release this? The answer is no.
No,
Like, that's
definitely
on a
not.
serious one. They actually
Definitely
don't.
not.
Really.
Yeah.
I don't think they're
questions. I've got
making
two
music.
questions.
I think they're having fun in ways that we can't even imagine because they have more money than all of us combined. But they ain't making music. Making music must be like terrible for them. Rihanna must have some kind of weird trauma around.
Rihanna did it like a job, though. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah,
Until
she
the
did.
Anti album, it was just like she was just pumping out pop.
She
like,
started very young as well, didn't she?
Yeah, performing
Yeah,
everywhere.
it was like a
You
robot.
know what I mean?
the way she was
She might
moving.
have a few Diddy stories. You know what I mean?
But-
Like, it
oh,
might be
but my-
traumatic.
Oh,
Oh, come on. Why are we bringing that?
it's too
No,
late
no.
to scream,
We've
man.
got- no, what?
He's on the
No,
island by
turn
himself.
that up.
He's on the island by
Turn it
himself.
Why are we doing that right now? What the
He's on
hell?
the island by
This is why we
himself.
need to stop at an hour and
I'm not
15, man,
involved.
because then it gets.
Hey,
Get
like,
ourselves
where
in
does
trouble.
that even come from, man?
Just
That
feeling-
didn't need to be brought up at all.
It could
And
be.
yet,
I got
what are we
more.
doing?
Carry on.
Right, I
Neil,
have
you
two
were saying
questions.
something.
Oh, no,
No,
Neil,
Neil
go.
was
You
saying
go.
something.
Go. Yeah, go on, Neil. Go.
No, sorry, quickly. I just feel like with artists, like I feel like, especially if you're well connected and you're well successful, I feel like you'll be in space where you go to the studio because your friends in there or someone's invited you, not to make music, just you just go in there and you might have something like, you know what, let me just do a little something. It doesn't have to be a put together track, but I feel like that's how they can just make. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just so easy for them to just. It's not necessarily they go with the intention, but like they're just vibing in the studio. And like,
I think that's how Lemon with Pharrell came up. I think
No, for sure. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think Rocky
That was nice.
and her were doing a thing. Rocky went to check Pharrell. Pharrell was like, I got this song. She was like, oh, I kind of like this. She's like, yeah, the studio, say
You
something.
see what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
That's the last song we've had from her.
Call
you know,
your
is
friend
Lemon.
Jake. Let's get him on.
Yeah, and it's quite a fun song. Actually, that song as well. Like it's quite a fun, easygoing, kind of like just a good vibe song. So I feel like they probably do that, not all the time, but I can imagine like once in a while they might just happen to be in the right place at the right time and something comes together.
But they're not
you're
using their
Kieran.
superpowers correctly, right? We've seen the formula before with Jay-Z and Beyonce. The collab album can do numbers, yeah. Big Sean and Janae Aiko did it. They obviously they're not together anymore, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
If Rihanna and ASAP made an album, that's
I mean,
gonna
that's
be the biggest.
that is crazy.
Yeah,
No,
that
that
would
would go.
Yeah.
That would be mad. Yeah.
That would go.
That will
you're
break
right, for
every.
sure.
That will go triple diamond. You know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it.
But you know what? It will only more so. I'm not gonna lie. It'll go off just because of the hype.
No, it
Rather
would be
than
great music. It would be great music. Rihanna don't make bad music. Let's be honest now.
I think it'll just go off the hype.
That's in everything.
It'll go off the hype because, like you guys said, we all said they haven't made an album. Well, ASAP's still making music, but he hasn't made an album. Rihanna hasn't made an album at all, so that's like the most anticipated duo. Just off
And they
that
haven't.
alone.
I don't think they've released music together, have they?
Nah.
Maybe what haven't they? Oh no, they've had.
I feel like everyone wants to hear what a track between them sounds like. I can't remember a track.
I don't remember a track.
No, I'm thinking of the music video. She's in the music video of his.
Yeah, she's in the
That
lovely
was
music
cool.
video.
They teased it. They teased
Yeah,
it.
But yeah, I think you're right, son. That'll go off. That'll be one of the biggest collabs. But I think honestly, it would be good music. But I feel like just off the hype alone, if they said to today they're dropping a collab album, the whole of social media will just be talking about that.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to release any kind of singles or what it's about. Just them saying, or a picture of them in the studio, will take over the whole of the feeds.
It probably would do better than a Jay-Z Beyonce album.
What do you reckon?
Because
know.
I feel like the way we've been speaking about ASAP, he's so likable and has transcended a lot. I feel like Jay-Z, even though he transcended, especially like 15 years ago, I feel like he's fallen into that niche of the hip hop world and just being the GOAT there. And it's cool, but I don't think new Jay-Z music relates to the masses like ASAP does.
Sean had two questions, by the way, that we kind of cut him off for.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I want to know.
No.
what Sean's-
I was trying to pitch in, so it's all good. It's all good. But you did answer one of them because one of them was going to be about a potential joint album between those two. So I'll tweak this one. So the question was going to be, what do we think comes first, a new A$AP Rocky album or a new Rihanna album?
Rihanna
And,
album's never
and
coming.
which one?
Yeah.
And which one are we actually anticipating more than the other?
The Rihanna album's never coming, okay? As far as I can go, and with all my insider information, she's gonna do a residency somewhere. Could be Tottenham, it could be Las Vegas. That's what people are saying. That doesn't come with a new album. She's just gonna do a residency to cash out quickly. She ain't doing no album, so it's ASAP.
Okay.
But the problem is, right now, the money that she's asking for that residency, crazy. So it means she don't want to do it, basically. Because if she wanted to do it, the deal would have been signed. You know, she did the Super Bowl before, which is free, before she even did, you know, a residency that could have paid her hundreds of millions. So she's not interested.
Rihanna has nothing. She has nothing to prove though. Like you saw the monthly listeners that she's achieved everything really.
How old is
Even
Rihanna? She's like
Anti's a
40
great
now.
album as well. She's got it all.
Just like
She's 37. She's still quite young.
yeah, 37.
Her knees are still working.
Oh no.
Oh my
Um,
goodness me.
I feel like ASAP does actually have something to prove. To be honest, what he has to prove is like putting together a good album, really and truly. But like, I just think when you look at him and his peers, it's like he's Like even Big Sean's overtaken. I shouldn't say it like that, but you
I
know
don't
what I
know.
mean.
I don't think he has
Sure.
anything to prove, man. I don't
Thank
think he has
you.
anything to prove.
I'm
don't
just
think he
wondering,
does.
does ASAP Rocky come back with a good album and then all of a sudden he's running the game? Can that happen?
I don't
No.
running the
that I
game.
don't
He
think.
can, he
I
can,
don't see that.
he can pull
I
a
don't
good
see that.
single together.
I think-
though. That's
I think you
that's
have
in his
to-
skill set.
I think you have to look at an artist's intentions and like what is it that what are their intentions and what is it they're bringing. And I think that minus like the odd perhaps attempt for a hit like on the first album, Rocky's never really, although being a mainstream artist, never really tried to look at the experimentation and all that in his music. I don't think he's ever really tried to be that guy. And he actually said in an interview, I'm not trying to be the best, I'm trying to be my best or something like that, or do my best. He's never been interested in just like competing like say a Kendrick or a Drake has. I think I feel
Of
like
course he's going to say
but-
that because he can't win. That's what. Sorry,
Nah,
carry on.
no. I think I don't know about that because the other thing about Rocky is there's not many people that come across more confident and do you know what I mean? He's a very very confident guy. I genuinely don't think he gives a shit. But I think that the only thing I don't think he needs to prove it. I think as someone who's always liked his music I would have liked to have seen him piece it together and put together an album that we talk about in the same breath as some of these other ones that we've come up with. So I'm with you on that one. But I think that if we look at just the contribute, like we've spoken about the sort of the risks he's taken as a mainstream artist sonically and the influence he's had, I think he deserves his flowers, man. And he's definitely one of the legends of his era, even if he doesn't have the catalogue of some of the others or the classic album or anything like that. So I think he's in a good place.
Well, he put together One Train. Like that's a crazy posse cut.
Yeah. I think the only thing that's hampering it is that we've been sort of told a project's coming, and do you know what I mean? If he hadn't done that, or once he had the album in the bank and ready to go, then dropped it, then I think it's different. But because it's like it's all smiles and it's don't be dumb and it's pushed back, that's where there's this sort of disappointment and anticipation, or not anticipation, sort of disappointment and why we're having a conversation like this. But other than that, I think he's a legend and should hopefully go down as that when all's said and done.
He's done a lot. It's true.
I think the album's going to come out because it kind of has to, right? Like eventually, give or take, it's got to come out within the next year or two.
Like an off the label requisite, or
I don't know if he's got a deal like that, but I mean, as in like, there's only so long you can delay certain things, and he can't do a Dr. Dre detox kind of, I'm working on it, whatever. It's like it's either coming out or it's not, and it's not part will be very obvious when he, like Sean said earlier, becomes like a director of a fashion brand or something. He's clearly got something else going on. Because right now, to point out what he does, is technically music. So do the music,
Like, why would he do the Camp Flogno performance?
Exactly.
Why would he even agree to that if he wasn't interested?
Well, he's friends with Tyler. Tyler seems to be able to get a lot of people out, which is that's something we need to discuss as well. How the hell does Tyler pull together these set
I don't
lists?
understand. It's amazing.
He had Drake as a stand-in. Do you know what I mean? That tells you what's going on with Tyler. But I think ASAP might drop this album. I think this time next year we might be sat down talking about Rocky's album.
It's probably going to be all new tracks though. I don't think he would use any of these old ones. Surely.
Nah, yeah, you're right. Because you said, Sean, that the album title's changed twice, maybe 3 times. I don't know.
It definitely changed. It definitely was all smiles, but I think that project got scrapped because that was like pre-pandemic times that got announced. Apparently, he teased 16th of January last night. That's apparently the new date. But we've had a couple dates, and I agree though. That's the thing that I think the way in which he, for lack of a better word, redeems himself with this is if we just get completely new music. If we get an album and like 6-7 of the tracks are what we've heard already, I don't think it's going to land too well. But if it's fresh music, I think it will make up for the delays and whatnot. But I think there's been some, by the looks of things and based on my theory, some good reasons for the delays, in my opinion.
What if he's waiting for GTA 6?
Oh, he's going to be waiting for ages if he's waiting for that, man. He can't be doing that.
He has songs on GTA 4 and 5.
Was it 4 and 5? Yeah, he has.
So maybe he's got a lot of music that he had to give to them. Maybe he's got his own radio station.
Yeah, but I reckon he can still drop before then anyway, and it'll just be on the game when it comes. But if he's waiting, sure, he's not waiting for the game. The game.
I know he's involved with them. I know Tyler's cooking something up for GTA 6 or has something on GTA 6 because maybe he had his DJ Stank Daddy radio station on GTA 5, 4.
Yeah,
one of the two. So I think ASAP's got. I think ASAP's making money in ways we don't really know, and the music is being held back because of that. Because he dropped a banger for that film this year. I haven't seen the film, but I heard a
Yeah,
song. So
What film?
yeah.
I don't know. Denzel Washington.
Oh,
Highest
yeah,
to
yeah,
lowest,
yeah.
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 Highest to lowest, yeah. Yeah, he's done a few like soundtrack things over the years and things like that. So, like I say, he's been busy. He's been busy. Yeah.
What do we
And
all
he,
want to see from ASAP then? In the music at least, because we've spoken about is it coming or is it not, but what do we want to see? We want to see new stuff, but is it at long last ASAP Part 2? Is it something new? What is it?
I trust him on the sonic level to keep things fresh. I have to just go off of history and what he's been able to do so far. But I think, yeah, from a lyrical standpoint, um, maybe I know it's a bit rich when it comes like this from fans, but let us in a bit more and take a bit of time with the bars and try and come up with something more cohesive, but with a bit more substance, I'd say. Because like he's a dad now as well, and I'm not necessarily asking him to talk about his traumas and that, but I feel like there's some life experiences that could be, you know, relatable to us at this age, and that could be, yeah,
You want
like
the
I say,
grown
have
man
some
album
substance.
because we're in the grown man hip hop era right now.
I mean, yeah, it's in fashion, isn't it? It's in fashion, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing at the moment that people are maturing, and I think for us as an audience now, like it'd be good to hear where he's at in life, and hopefully it's not just vibes because there's only so much you can listen to that, and I'm not in those spaces anymore where I'm going to be properly indulging and listening to the music in that way. But yeah, just a more, I guess in summary, more substance from me lyrically.
Everyone else?
Uh, well, to be honest, just as see if he can put together a body of work and just like have some like, new material, like Kira was saying, not just the singles from before. Can he could just go into an album where he puts some new music from him and make it into a body of work? That's what I'm interested in, really. Apart from that, then no, it'd just be nice to hear from him, to be honest.
Kieran, Neil.
Yeah, I think I'm not expecting much, and not in a disrespectful way. But if I did want something, I think I would like a hit song, one or two, and then I think to going off what Sean and Theo were saying, something just a bit more substance. I think something where it draws it back to the album. Something that we were saying that lacked with the other albums. I want something to kind of like constantly bring me back to play the whole album rather than just one or two songs. That'd be fun. If he did an album, it doesn't have to be the best album in the world, but something where I think, yeah, let me play this album again. Let me go on a drive or do some work, whatever, and put this on the background. Like, that would be nice. If that like, it doesn't have to. I'll take one hit song or two hit songs. But if he did that, that would be like, wow, you've surprised me. Do you know what I mean? That would be really, really cool if he did that. But I'm happy to get some good music from him.
I just want some clarity, some vision from him, because I feel like I don't understand what these singles have been trying to do.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I guess that's a nice place to kind of wrap things up with what happened to ASAP Rocky. And I don't know if we highlighted this at the beginning. Maybe Neil didn't say it, but I'll say it now. This isn't really us saying like they've fallen off. It's more like we were expecting something from this artist and they never delivered on that. Not never delivered, but it just never happened. So we kind of do like that, that hindsight look of like, well, what was it? And I guess in this case, he had a lot going on. Maybe there's the looming curse of the dropping the album and someone dies thing. There was the court case, and now it seems like, according to Sean, half the presses, but now it seems like maybe January we might have a new A$AP Rocky album. And again, I don't know why he wants to release in January, because that's how your album gets forgotten about, unless it's really, really good. So it's a shame, but yeah, we'll see. I'd be hoping that a new A$AP album comes out and it has the same impact as his first album. So I want a One Train. I want a Fucking Problems. I don't mean songs that sound like that, but songs that do the same thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know how he would do that now. But only he can do that, because he literally made some of the biggest moments of the last 20 years in hip hop, and then just hasn't done much since, which is a shame.
Yeah. And check out our other episodes as well. or rather, what happened to? We did what? No Name, Wale.
Wale.
Did we have? Was there another one?
There must have been. I don't
There
know
was
what it
another
would
one.
be though. What happened to? No,
Hey,
that's
but
it.
Wale though,
What about? What's that mean? Is he back?
he put that fire. Oh.
I put it in the group. No one was fucking with me. So
No, I'm fucking with it. I'm just waiting for the episode. But yeah, he's.
oh yeah, true. We haven't done a release recap. No, it was just No Name and Wale. I think we
Okay.
did No Name because she had a bit of a moment kicking off, so we tried to jump on that. And we did Wale for the love. So we need to do more of these. I feel like we had a few of them, and this one was an interesting one because at least ASAP has some hope of coming back. I don't know about the other ones on the list. It might be a bit more kind of like, well, this person's gone, like fallen off. All right. Well,
Cool.
see you next time.
Hey, this is Sean, and thanks for listening to another episode of The Grey Area. Are you an upcoming artist, critic, journalist, or content creator? Hit us up on our Discord or in our YouTube comments if you want to share new music, take part in an interview, or are interested in collaborating. Links to these can be found in the show notes. Take care.